How they hanging down, dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Media Raptor Reviews. Sorry if you hear the fan, it's kind of warm up here. So this isn't the Christmas special, I want to make that clear now. The next two reviews aren't the Christmas specials, the one after is. I was just kind of behind on reviews because of finals and all that. But now they're done, I'm back in the Raptors den. I got re-evicted, so I'm not evicted anymore. And I wanted to give you just some more stuff before the Christmas special. So today, you guys, we're going to take a look at a 2004 animated movie. And I am going to give you guys a heads up, this review will be somewhat biased. Because, well, I'll explain why in a minute. Tonight's movie is The Polar Express. Straight up, I'm going to tell you guys, I loved this movie as a kid. This was one of the first Christmas movies I ever watched. I believe the first was A Charlie Brown Christmas. But growing up, this was one I watched every year. I actually was just reading through VideoHound. Trust me, I have probably 5 of these, for the past 5 years. They gave it 2.5 out of 4. I can kind of see why. But personally, I think the movie's a little bit better. But then again, this is probably my nostalgia being slightly biased. It is based off a book. I haven't actually read the book yet. And it tells a very simple story about a young boy who, on Christmas Eve, discovers there's a train going to the North Pole. Reluctantly, he jumps on because he wants to know, well, what exactly is this? And along the way, he meets a girl and another young boy, and they go on a magical adventure, meet Santa, and ultimately kind of come to what they truly think about Christmas. Oh, excuse me. I just burped a little bit in my mouth. Ugh. Hate when that happens. I'm sure some peanut butter does not mix well. I will say this for the movie. The idea that... So a big plot point of this movie is this kid is debating if he believes in Santa or not. And all throughout the movie, he sees magic and yet he also has doubts. So I like the fact that it's not just... It's an actual idea. It's like it's like a leap of faith. They're actually trying to kind of build on this mythos, this idea. It works. I like all the characters. I think only one of them is ever named, which is Billy, I believe. They really don't say these characters' names. There's Billy, who is the third kid, the youngest kid, and there's the conductor, who is just a lot of fun. He is a great character, and I'll get to why in a minute. Well, it's Tom Hanks, that's the easy answer. These characters don't have a lot of depth, but they do have personality. They're all likable characters. You like them. They're worth watching a movie on. The story, it's incredibly basic, but this is a movie meant for young kids, or the young at heart. So sitting here and saying, yeah, it's not a good movie because, well, it doesn't have a good, deep plot. That's not what this movie's about. It's meant to be a simple, enjoyable, beautiful movie. The humor, there are a couple jokes in here I genuinely still laugh at. I think they're fun. I love the creativity of this movie. The movie's biggest strength is its creativity. The idea of just the Polar Express itself is so cool. And what they do with the North Pole and what they do with the scenery and all the ideas they have, it makes the movie worth coming back to year after year. Part of that is surprisingly helped by the acting. Now, child actors are hit and miss. More often than not, they're a miss. And it does apply here. One or two of the child actors aren't that good. But the main ones are surprisingly good. I don't know if they've been in anything else. And this is usually where I'd whip it out, my phone, and then check on IMDb to see if they have been anything, but not today, I'm gonna keep on trucking. Child actors do a pretty good job, but the guy who makes this whole movie worth watching, and always, to me at least, worth coming back to, is Tom Hanks. Guys, Tom Hanks is a fantastic actor. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Tom Hanks movie so far. Granted, I haven't seen him in a lot of movies, but I have seen him in Toy Story, Forrest Gump, Polar Express, all good movies. I didn't like Toy Story that much, to be honest. Yeah, a weird fact about me, I don't like Toy Story, and I don't really like Toy Story 3, but I love Toy Story 2. It's weird, I know. It's weird, man. It's just the way I am. But he plays the conductor, who is a likable character. He plays a bunch of characters, actually. He's a likable character as the conductor because, you know, he's kind of strict, but he's also kind. He just wants to do his job and make sure they get there on time, but he also wants to make sure that it's a special time for the kids. He wants to make sure none of the kids are hurt. Then there's one of his other characters. They don't name him, but essentially the people have referred to him as the hitchhiker. Or the hobo. This guy, I'm willing to admit to this character creeped me out. Like, this character really scared me as a kid. And he's still kind of creepy today. On the one hand, he's a very interesting character. He plays, well, if Tom Hanks is the embodiment of believing in Santa and all that, the idea of magic and Christmas, and the hitchhiker is very much the embodiment of doubt, of disbelief, and sadly of reality. They never interact with one another. They interact with the main kid, and you see how both of them affect him. But the hitchhiker is just kind of creepy. I think you all know the scene with the puppetry, like with the Scrooge puppet. It's not nearly as terrifying as it is to me when I was a kid, but then again, I was like 6 when I first saw this, so sue me if you think why was I scared? I was 6. Yeah, just big deal, okay? Like, he's an odd choice for a movie with such a simple plot. In fact, he's really the closest thing to an antagonist this movie has. There is no villain in this movie. It's just a beautiful, magical journey. Now, one thing which may turn people off from this movie, and I would be lying if I said it wasn't a little bit creepy, is the animation. This is by the company that did A Christmas Carol and Mars Needs Moms. I don't remember what their company is, but they do motion capture. And on the one hand, this animation is beautiful. The scenery, the train, the northern lights, the settings, the characters are so fantastic to look at. On the other hand, they can be kind of creepy at times. Motion capture is a cool idea. I think it's a neat way to do animation, especially with what we've seen in this and other such movies. It can be done well. But this is 2004, and if we're being fair, the animation holds up surprisingly well, but there are some places where it does look kind of sketchy. However, is that a discredit to the movie? No. But I do know some people who actually cannot stand this type of animation, be it because of... Actually, I know someone who's scared of this type of animation, or they just think, if it's gonna be so realistic, why not just use real, like, live action? Which is a good question. I actually kind of wonder, why wasn't this live action? Now, I get it would be, like, crazy hard to build, like, the entire train and do some of the things they do in this movie in live action. Like, I get why, but it is an interesting thought. Why wasn't it live action? Music? I should probably mention this. There are a couple musical numbers in this. One of them is sung by the children, and that's probably the only one which I genuinely think wasn't that good. However, they are all incredibly short. So even if you don't like them, it's about a minute at most. Excuse me, I've been dealing with something the past few days, and it's just on like the tail end of getting out of my body finally. That sounds weird, but yeah, I was sick the past 2 days during finals. It was a nightmare. It was weird, man. But anyhow, there's 2 songs which are great. There's the one about hot chocolate, which is just, it's catchy, it's upbeat, and it's just a fun song. Although, if we're being honest, as a kid, I was kind of thinking, you know, if they're throwing around hot chocolate, I want to see this train bump or something and it falls on everyone and they all get burned. I'm a weird person sometimes. And the other one, it's one that, sadly, it wasn't like even a full song. It was just a couple times they said it over and over. It was just like a 30-second thing. I like to call it On the Polar Express. You know the one. It's when they finally get to the North Pole. It is, I don't know why, but to me, it's super catchy, super upbeat, and it's just a super happy song. And as for the score, it's decent, it's serviceable. It's not memorable, but at the same time, I don't think this movie is trying to have, like, a Harry Potter score or a Star Wars score. Sorry, I'm just checking something as I'm talking. Like, this movie knows that it's just a simple, fun movie, and that's the best way to describe it. Can I recommend? Well, actually, I want to check something first. P-R-P-O-O, here we are. Polar. Yeah, that's probably something I should mention. The whole moral aspect. To be honest, it was kind of dumb when I was a kid. It's still kind of dumb now. They're trying to have a moral sort of at the end for these kids. One of them works great. The idea of sometimes you just gotta believe in something even if you can't see it, which is, to be honest, what I kind of do with faith. With my faith with God. So what if I can't see him every day? So what if, like, I can't directly talk to him face to face? I still believe in him. It's my faith. It's what I believe in. But I don't want to go into a whole like details. That's my point, though. The morals are kind of like, it feels like it's just there because it's a kids movie and they wanted to have morals or something. But yeah, can I recommend the Polar Express? Yes, but if you don't have kids, you're probably gonna think it's okay, but nothing special. Me, I watched it as a kid, so I still love this movie even years later, and I probably will for years to come. If you have kids, this is a great movie for them. A fantastic movie. If you're watching it with kids, you'll probably get a lot more enjoyment out of it that way. Simply watching it on your own because, well, you want to, go ahead. But you should know, it's not like a revolutionary movie. It scores a solid 3 Raptor claws out of 4, and that's probably me just being nostalgic. Either way, The Polar Express is still a fun, beautiful movie that has actually stood the test of time rather well, and is one I look forward to watching many more times as the years come and go. But until next time, you guys, this is the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see all you dino dudes around. Later.